I'm just going to record this while I'm driving and say that I watched the well, first of all, what's up, everybody? I haven't posted on this channel in a very long time, but the season kicked off last night, and I just want to tell you all what my early thoughts are after I watched specifically the Rockets and the Thunder game. They're going to need a point guard, bro. I know other people have said it, but they're going to need a point guard. And this has been my problem with Kevin Durant before. Like, Kevin Durant is one of the most gifted, talented scorers ever. And he's always been, or at least for a very long time, he's been one of my more favorite players. But I've become annoyed with Kevin Durant's game over the past 3 or 4 years. And I try not to make it a what have you done for me lately type of deal. Like, if you've proven that you're great, you're great. And I think he's done that. My issue with Kevin Durant is, I think maybe it's more so an us issue as fans than it is a Kevin Durant issue. And what I mean by that is, I think we force Kevin Durant. We're trying to force Kevin Durant to be something he's not, which is a great leader. And some people argue that playing well is leadership. And for me, I don't know if I fully see it that way, because once you reach a certain level of greatness, like Kevin Durant has, I don't know if that absolves you, bro, from being able to scan, because you're a basketball savant, or at least I would like to believe that you are. Or maybe Kevin Durant is a basketball, just an elite scorer, right? But basketball savant may not be the label for Kevin Durant. And what I mean by that is, he's mastered getting to his spots and perfecting his scoring craft. But understanding other facets of the game, I just don't know if Kevin Durant, one, has perfected that, mastered that, understood that to an elite level, and or if he even cares to. What am I talking about? I'm watching the game last night, and I'm just like, this has been Kevin Durant's game on the Nets. It was not so much with the Nets. We didn't get to see it as much because him, Kyrie, and James Harden didn't get to play like that. But it's been like this with a little bit. You got to see it a little bit with the Nets. You definitely saw it with the Suns. And here we are in Houston. And from the kickoff game last night, I already see it's the same stuff. Kevin Durant just wants to hoop. And it's clear that he just wants to get buckets. They're going to... Fred VanVleet getting injured is going to impact this team badly. They're going to win some games. They're going to have some great moments and great highlights. But I'm very much so irritated with Kevin Durant, because you're the best player. You're the veteran on the team, bro. So you should be able to be the one watching the games and understand that we don't have a point guard, so we're going to have to slow things down and maybe play out of the post. Now, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, they were playing the Thunder, who are only the defending champions. They're playing against the reigning MVP, who I don't believe deserved the MVP, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just annoyed with Kevin Durant, bro, because watching the game last night, they're watching Amon Thompson, or Thompson come up. Horrible shooter, bro. People are saying that he was working on his jump shot over the summer, and I'm just going to be honest, I can't tell. I know it's one game, and he has 80 more games to prove me otherwise. But watching him shoot the ball, it looks just like it's looked the last couple of years. It's like him and his brother, him and Asar, I thought when I watched their highlights coming into the league, because they took the non-traditional route. They went to like play in some special league instead of going the traditional college route. I thought when I watched their highlight reels, I was like, bro, they can shoot, they can defend, they're freaks of nature, they're great athletes, all of that. I was wrong. A man's top, however you pronounce his name, his jump shot is atrocious, man. And it's annoying that it's that bad. I understand that he makes up in other ways. But I watched Gil's Arena, and Gilbert was saying that they should put him at point because he's going to be a matchup nightmare for most people. But what they're not understanding is, and Gilbert Arenas was also saying that they're going to be a man is also selfless, so he's willing to pass the ball. but he's not a point guard. Like, you can't just take like a Ben Simmons who's a 6'10", point guard, or take a person like who's another tall point guard in the league. You can't take these people who know how to think like a point guard and can move the rock the appropriate way, and then just plug in anybody with that size. No. Yes, a man Thompson is a great athlete. Yes, he has a handle, but he doesn't have the intellect and the IQ. He just doesn't, of a point guard, bro. He doesn't. And as you're watching the game, you can tell that it's just ultimately what I'm getting at here with Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant teams over the past, since he's left Golden State, they're not fun to watch. You're on your edge. You're on the edge of your seat at times when you shouldn't be on the edge of your seat, right? Because Kevin Durant could easily do certain things like control the pace, orchestrate the offense, because he has the size, he has the skill set, and I thought he had the intellect and IQ to do it. But it just seems like Kevin Durant makes the same type of turnovers. I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed that, but Kevin Durant makes the same types of turnovers. He makes a turnover where he's on the block, not the block, he's on the wing. He's waiting for someone to curl off the three-point line so he can kick them the ball at the top of the key so they can shoot it. Kevin Durant will just carelessly pass the ball, like really in a weak fashion, and it always gets stolen for a wide open layup break off. Or Kevin Durant is at the top of the key, right inside the three-point line, in triple threat, waiting to get into his form. And then it's always a smaller defender on him. Kevin Durant is an incredible scorer. He's an elite shot maker. We all know that. But what annoys me is he always loses the ball at the top of the key. Anyways, I'm digressing here. I fear that this season is going to be just like it was with the Suns. It's not going to be fun basketball to watch because Kevin Durant he's a plug-in. He's probably the only player in the league you can plug him into any team. Only elite player of his status where you can plug him into any team and he'll fit. But the reason why he'll fit is almost to his detriment, because he'll fit because he's not overbearing. He's not going to do more than what he's asked to do. When the problem is, he needs to be asked to do more. Kevin Durant needs to orchestrate. Kevin Durant needs to average on this team 8 assists. He does, bro. He just does. And if they're going to rely on a man's Thompson's, playing the point, it's not going to work. I like Sengun a lot. Sengun, is that his name? I like him a lot. They had this man bringing the ball up court against the Thunder. Like, yeah, that's going to work against the Wizards. Yeah, it's going to work against... So many teams have gotten so much better that you can't just point out all of these teams like you used to. So that's a good thing for the league. But because I was about to say the Pistons. The Pistons are a much, much better team. In fact, they could mess around and be in the Eastern Conference Finals, battling for the finals this year. But yeah, they'll be able to do this against the Charlotte Hornets. They will not be able to do this against elite teams, bro. When you got a player who's really your center, he can play the 4-2, bringing the ball up court against an elite team like the Thunder. Kevin Durant with the handles is just watching this. I'm like, it's cringe. It's just cringe basketball to watch. SGA, bro. SGA, I think a lot of people had already come to this conclusion, but SGA is definitely better than Kevin Durant. I've never said those words up until this point, but after watching last night's game, it's definitely clear. I understand the SGA won the won MVP last year, so it's probably not that hot of a take anymore, not that big of a hot take anymore, but I just want to state that for the record. SGA is definitely better than Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant, I think, is willingly taking the back seat to SGA. Watching that game last night, I'm like, Kevin Durant is just not assertive, bro. He's not. He made some big shots in the game, but I understand that he's new to the team, so they're going to have to find a way to mesh. I get that. I understand that. I'm with you on that. But I'm still annoyed watching like the lack of, it's not even about chemistry. I understand that they don't know each other. But there's supposed to be some sort of flow to a team. You've practiced with each other. I understand that you're going to have to adjust because you're facing different defensive schemes. But as I'm watching this game last night, I'm like, it's just like it was in Phoenix, bro. I don't know if the pieces really fit together like that. They're going to need a point guard to put everybody where they're supposed to be, to bring some structure to this offense, some cohesiveness, some flow, right? To be able to connect the pieces where they need to be, where they need to go, to make the right combinations. Without that, bro, it's just a bunch of basketball players out there going one-on-one and just, scoring off of, loose balls and off of basic plays that anybody can score off of. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty and thing heats up, I don't know if I see this team as being a team like they finished second in the West last year. I would be surprised if they finished top 4 or 5. I'm gonna end this video off by saying that if the Rockets might be 5, battling for 4, but I would not be shocked at all if they end up being like the 6th seed. And I don't want to speak it into existence that they not even battling, or they battling for the play-in, but I think they're going to be in conversations similar to that. 6th seed, they're going to be fighting for the 5th, 6th, and 7th seed. That's how I see that. But y'all hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, though.